Hey everybody, it is Thursday night in the View again, which only means one really happy thing to me, that tomorrow is Friday and we've survived another week, and Hump Day is past us, and first thing that came to my mind was when I was saying that was that, you know what, at least we had a beautiful full moon this week that was absolutely gorgeous, and if you're not enjoying this weather, you need to just be enjoying something else, because it's just grand out there this week. So I'm going to get us started tonight. We are so super excited about tonight's show. As you can see, we have two guests with us this evening. I have been working with Catron for several years now. We didn't really know each other until Community Arts of the Bellevue came along and matched us up. You know, we kind of Tindered, but we did it during Community Arts of Bellevue. And
start rumors.
That's right. And honey, I slung right when I saw that one. I was like, slide right. And I've had nothing but just a grand time and pleasure working with Catron. She is also on the board of directors of Community Arts of Bellevue. She has a grand resume, and instead of me reading it, we're just going to talk about it tonight. I just thought that'd be a better way to do it. But I do want to get started by saying this is out of Nashville Lifestyle Magazine, that they wrote this about Catron. And it says, with ferocious determination, Catron Wallace pounces on a canvas. Timidity does not even enter her thinking. Her body movement is revealed in lines that rise like airy ribbons above layers of acrylic paint. This self-taught painter imbues her art with physicality and passion. Well, I quit. There you go. That really captures the spirit of Catron in a great way. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I introduce to you Catron Wallace, our guest for this evening. Hi, Catron. It's so great to have you with us tonight. Thank you for doing this, and introduce us to your cohort, to your co-chair.
Oh, this is Edge.
Hi, Edge.
Edge. Hey, everybody. Say hello. Come on, don't be camera shy. You want to know
Edge
something?
is fantastic. Go Edge. He is so beautiful.
My little companion.
Wow, he is so cute.
Thank you.
He's trying to look bored, but we know better than.
Well, he's trying to pose, you know. He gets it from his mama.
Of course. You posted the cutest pictures on Facebook of y'all kayaking together. I just think that's so amazing.
He loves the water. Oh my gosh. He literally pulls me. I cannot keep him in the boat. It is hilarious. I mean, everybody's just rolling because I'll put him in the boat. I'll like sit. He's like, jumps right back in. It's fun, isn't it, Edge? He loves it.
That's what we do.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's get started. Tell us about Catron.
Tell you about Catron. Well, what exactly would you like to know?
Well,
I am a full-time artist.
Yep. Where are you from?
I am a painter. I do large abstracts, among other things. I'm actually working on some other things now, but I've been an artist for going on about 25 years now.
Oh my gosh.
Professional,
wow.
Yeah. And I'm originally from Mississippi.
What part?
The Jackson, Brandon area.
Yeah.
That's our capital. I was born and raised there, and 4 years ago, I needed to make a change, and I have always wanted to live in Nashville. So I loaded up my horse and my stuff, and I came north.
And you giddy up. You came to Nash Vegas.
I did. I didn't know anybody. I really, to be honest with you, didn't have a place to stay until the week before I came. So, and that was an interesting. It's been a really fun and interesting journey. I've had a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, right.
But you know what? You just got to get back on the horse and keep riding on and see what happens after that, you know?
Yes, you do. That's what it's all about.
That's right.
So you've been here for how long now?
4 years. 4 years in August.
Okay. Well, you've grown quite fast as an artist in this town. I will say that in 4 years' time. Good job.
Thank you.
You're out there. You're being seen.
Well, thank you. I'm a hard worker.
Yep. So moving to Nashville, since moving to Nashville, and you've really, dug in and you have roots here now. So tell me, what is your favorite part about living in Nashville in the west and on the west side?
On the west side?
Over here on the west side.
Well, I would have to say the nature part of it, because I'm super duper close to Montgomery Bell State Park. Edge and I go there weekly, and I love that. The Narrows of the Harpeth are right around the corner. There's the Harpeth River for kayaking. It's just a really nice area, and it's beautiful out here. It's very peaceful and quiet. Yep. I have a lot of turkey and deer and all kinds of critters in my backyard, and I kind of like that.
So for y'all to know, Catron lives kind of in that Kingston, Kingston area out there that's beautiful. You like way out there, but it's really not that far way out there.
It's not way. Everybody says that it's not way out here. It's just a little ways. I'm 30 minutes from everything. So there you go.
Not everything needs to be, cram packed downtown, does it?
Thank you.
Matter of fact, I just realized I'm wearing my Harpeth River Outfitters cap tonight. So that goes, and I actually bought this cap in Kingston Springs at the farmer's market.
Perfect.
Last year, me and Lisa Jennings were out there goofing off, and the market was open, and I was like, I need that cap, so I bought it.
Excellent.
And now I've fallen in love with Kingston Springs. I think it's just lovely. It's beautiful, like you say. The nature is gorgeous. The Burns Park that you and I were just talking about is if you guys have not been out there, go. It's absolutely beautiful. There's a frisbee golf course, a really gorgeous frisbee golf. You're right on the river, so you can go over and be next to the water if you want to, or in the water if you want to, if you're Edge.
They have I'm going to interrupt, but don't forget, they have once a year, they have the art festival as well.
They do.
For Kingston Springs.
You and I were judges last year.
Yes. And they do that every year. And that's been a real good success and a lot of fun. And we have people from Nashville coming in, and, not just Kingston Springs people. It's people from all over the area.
It really is. It's really phenomenal. So William has Will Edwards, who's on the call, has a question for us when appropriate. We'll go ahead and put it in, and I'll be happy to. We'll take it, questions as we're moving along. That's not a Chicken is on tonight. She says to tell you hello and love to Catron.
Hey, thanks for coming by.
And Will, that's a great question. It is one we're gonna dive into that in just a few moments. His question was, "What is your inspiration?" But we're gonna dive into that in just a few moments. Okay. I promise we'll come back to that. I am going to go ahead and ask it, even though Catron asked me not to ask this question. So what's your least favorite part about living in Nashville?
Humidity.
It does do that in the summertime.
But that's good, really. It's good for your skin.
Good for your skin. Bad for your hair, good for your skin.
Yeah, bad for the hair, though. Definitely.
I don't have that. Luckily, I do not have that problem anymore.
Sorry, Glenn. I said it before I thought about it. I'm very sorry.
No. It's called follically challenged, and I'm quite okay with it.
Cool.
It does not bother me a bit. That's why God made caps, and really cute ones from the Harpeth River Outfitters in Kingston Springs. Just want to bring that back up again.
There you go.
So here we go. Let's talk about art, shall we?
Okay, let's go. Shoot. You gonna ask me questions or what?
Yeah, I am. Let's talk about you as an artist.
Okay.
In particular, you said you did this about that there was a decision made about 25 years ago that you've been an artist for about 25 years. How did that evolve? How did that happen? When did you know this is my life? This is who I am. This is my authenticity.
Well, I've always been a doodler and a drawer. I've sketched. I was born with a pencil in my hand, basically. And so I've always had an interest in art. I've always, I did more doodling in school than I did studying, that's for sure. I mean, it's just always been in my blood, so to speak.
Yep.
And after, when I was raising my kids and all that, of course, I had some day jobs. I was a secretary many times. I actually got fired a couple of times.
Winning.
I know. But the deal is, this is a true story. 2 of the companies that let me go called me into their office and they were like, Catron, we love having you around, but you are just really not right for this job. And I'm like, I know that. I mean, it was a good thing.
I was funny. I was thinking the same thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly what I was thinking. I did it because I had to, or and it held out for a while. And then after the kids got grown and I was able to pursue the art deal. I don't know how to answer when was that moment or that aha moment, because I kind of just gradually got into it.
Sure.
I picked up some paints one day, probably about 5 years before I became professional, and started playing around, and it wasn't every day or anything. And I just kept practicing and getting better and better, and decided to pursue it full time. And I have been, it's my passion. Yeah, I'm very, very passionate about my job. So does that answer your question?
And I know that is from being, us working together and being around each other so much. I do know that. My next question was going to be, so what did you do before when it became an artist? I'm trying to think of another way is like, so what jobs did you actually get fired from?
Now, I don't have to tell you all of that. There's probably some of those people are probably watching this because it's some of my Mississippi people. And true. I did get let go, but it was a good let go. It wasn't like they kicked me out of the door or anything. I really think they hated to see me go, but it just wasn't for me.
I have no doubt about that.
I was not secretarial.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I get that. I totally get that. That's just not your animal.
No, it's not. It's not.
Mm-mm.
And but anyway. Okay, you want to get to
we've all got those moments in our lives. We wouldn't have character if we didn't.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. So, Will's got a good one. I'm going to save that one for just a second because, I think that's a great question. Thanks, Will. My next question would be to you. What would you consider to be like one of your biggest highlights since being an artist?
Oh, gosh. My move to Nashville.
Right.
I mean, it was this has been the best 4 years of my life. Definitely. It's just, like I said, it's had some good and some bad. But I have really enjoyed this wave and the recognition. And one of the biggest highlights as far as that goes is when Nashville Lifestyle Magazine featured me this past January in 2020. They did a full spread feature as a spotlight artist. And I was just blown away. And Karen that wrote the article, she and I visited. We were just going to do like a short visit and maybe a blurb. And we ended up visiting all afternoon. I mean, we just hit it off so well. And by the time it was over, she said, girlfriend, you are a spitfire and you are going to get a spread. So that's what happened. And I mean, that was a high, that was a really high.
Sure.
I was so honored and I'm still not over it. So that was probably the biggest highlight.
It was a true testament to the work that you do.
Thank you.
And that your passion really shows through that. It's not, I just paint to paint. You paint because you're just, it's a calling for you. It's what
it is.
It's who you are. It's in your bones. You have to do it. So think that shows up. And Edge is like, okay, I'm done with that.
He's done.
I'm done
Edge
with
says
the
good
camera.
night, everybody. He's going to go
Edge
get into
is
something.
thing. And we're going to come back to that also. I'm going to ask Will's
Okay, sure.
question here. Catron, have you ever had a supernatural experience that you'd be willing to share?
That is an interesting question.
It's a very interesting question.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've had a couple. Yes.
Right.
Let me think of one that I want to share.
Ed got busy.
I'll tell you a ghost story. This is a good one. When I first moved here, I rented a room in an old church. And because I had my horse at the time, so I had to find a place where my horse and I could live in the same location. And this was in Lewisburg, right below Nashville, south of Nashville.
Right.
And this church was built in like 1930, I believe it was. And of course, it had a graveyard by it and everything. And there was nothing creepy about it. But let me just tell you, one night I woke up and I had some of these figures or whatever seemed to be hovering over my bed or standing by my bed, and I could hear a party upstairs, and that's where the owner lived, was upstairs. And it was like, I don't know, it was just weird. And it was like I could hear this party, and I wanted to get up and go join the party, but there were three figures by my bed, and they wouldn't let me up. I'm serious. I mean, I don't know if it was a nightmare or what, but anyway, the wild thing is when I got up the next morning and I went downstairs and I was talking to the owner of the place and telling him about it, and he was like, I cannot believe that you just told me that, because he had come to find out, and he had never said anything to me, but he had some experiences too. And he asked, could you tell what they were wearing or anything like that? I said, no. I said, I could just tell it was three figures, that's all. And then I could hear like a party going on up in your area, where you live. And he was like, well, I don't know. I think I creeped him out, but it was true. So true story, I guess. Oh, speaking of which, this is Olivia. This is Olivia. She keeps me company during the...
As she flung herself into the camera's view.
She sure did. Well, Edge did that. I just can't keep a handle on him. He's just a wild child.
Well, he's your child, right?
That's right. That's right. He is. He's a good one too. But that is probably the only one I'm going to share with you. But it was, and it was very real. Like I said, it was probably a nightmare. Who knows? I might have eaten some bad spaghetti or something.
We don't know.
You never know.
I grew up in a family who believed in supernatural stuff. So even though I personally never witnessed it that I know of, boy, I had family who just believed in it wholeheartedly. I mean, wholeheartedly. So I keep waiting for, the moment to arise, because I'm like, they're all going to come visit me someday. They'll just one big van load. They'll all show up at one time.
And then you're going to freak out.
I'll just have to do it. I'm like, we don't like a glass of wine. I don't know what else to do.
Right, exactly.
So my next question to you, back on the art track. That was a good little diversion.
Yeah, that was fun.
Who do you consider your favorite artist? And you and I have talked about this a number of times. I'm sorry. And you and I have talked about this several times.
Yes. And I have several. I mean, I really do. Some of the modern artists I admire, and of course the old guys I admire. But I guess I would have to say I love Salvador Dali. I just think his work, I have been a fan of his since I was probably 10 years old. When I saw a coffee table book at a friend's house, and I just fell in love with his work. I thought he was just brilliant, and he really was a genius. He was a little bit of a goofball, but he was a genius.
He was a bit of a
Goofball.
goofball, but he was.
And I loved his sculpture. I loved his artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And and to this day, I have a coffee table book with, Dolly. I just, and some of I think he kind of, or I grasp a little bit from him, some of my paintings, like my cityscapes and that kind of thing, kind of have that surreal feel to them sometimes. People can see different things, buildings or objects that have been twisted and made into different things, but yet you can still see, that you can still see what it is. So Salvador Dali, I would say, would be my favorite. Yeah.
I'll say that Salvador was never really on my higher list until several years ago. The Frist Center had some of his paintings there at one of their exhibits, and I just kind of turned and I went, "Oh my God!" It caught me so off guard, and how much energy was there, and how much I had to I just had to step up to it and just really, really look at it, because it slung me. I just didn't expect it, but it really did. It caught me off guard.
And to see it in person, I went to that exhibit. That was about 2 years ago. Yeah. And oh my God, because I'm a member of, excuse me, I shouldn't have said that, but I'm a member of the Frist. Yeah, and so I went 6 different times. And a couple of times I would bring a sketchbook, and I would just sit there and because every time you look at his work, you see something different.
You do.
It just was intriguing to me. That was a great exhibit. They need to bring it back.
Yeah.
I'd go again.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Yes.
So, from an artist, is there a piece of art in particular that really stands out to you that you consider to be like a hallmark piece of art?
From someone else?
Yeah.
From another artist?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. I can honestly, I can't pinpoint that.
Right.
But because there's so much good art.
There is.
The visual art. And in all different disciplines and so and I love it all.
Yeah.
I
right.
really do. Exactly. I really do.
So, kind of a diversion question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay.
So, I think there's actually another one I want to ask. Yeah. So, what style of art do you most closely identify yourself with? Abstract
expressionism. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you delve in?
Yeah, because I'm real, when I'm painting, and I'll if we have time, I'll do a little painting on this piece right here. But when I paint, I'm usually pretty into it. I move my body when I'm going, and I'm doing my arms, and that's very expression. I talk with my hands, for Pete's sake. So can you imagine what I do when I'm painting?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm sitting here holding them, trying not to do it right now.
No, you go
I
for
really,
it.
this is how I do,
Yeah, right. Do you ever do other styles? I know that's your go-to. Like me, that's my go-to. But do you ever break out and maybe do a still life or do?
Yes, I do still lifes a lot in my sketchbook. I still sketch. In fact, during COVID, I've really gotten back to my sketching even more, which has been a good thing, because that's always a good foundation and a good background to have that ability to sketch it out. And still life, excuse me. I've tried to sketch out edge. It just looked like a big old fur ball with teeth, but it was fun to do. So yeah, I try to get out of the box. I think that's what keeps you creative as a creative person, is you've got to stretch your limits. And you've got to get out of your box in order to keep growing. And I think it's so important for all artists to keep growing, and you never stop learning, you never stop practicing. Even musicians, same way. The more you do it, the better you are, and the more ideas you come up with.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Do you have a process?
It's called the Catron process. Just whatever comes out, babe. No, I don't. I really don't. I use acrylics. I'll tell everyone that I use acrylics, and I do use mixed medium from time to time, but I don't use the medium every time I do a painting. Sometimes I mix it up, and I'll use a lot of texture. I've got several paintings that are really, they're almost heavy because I've got so much medium on them and texture. So there again, I like to try different things. So I'm always experimenting with something. And there's so many products out there. I mean, Liquitex and Golden and all the big companies, they're always coming out with something for us to play with, like every month. I go to the candy store and I'm like, please, I just need this. Please take my credit card and this list, and that's all I'm getting today. I mean, sometimes you just have to do that because it's like going to, I get so excited.
Going into Plaza to me is like, okay, I need to clear all my credit cards.
I know.
I'm going to need all 5 of them to make this little trip today because.
I'm serious. I tell Kimber all the time, I'm like, okay, this is my list. I cannot get anything that is not on this list, but it's always fun.
The art store and the grocery store are they're just my downfalls.
Yes, mine too.
I just love them.
Yes. Well, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I don't know. You carry it. You carry it. I'll follow.
Not that I need to do a commercial for Plaza this evening, but I did.
Well, that's okay. They are good to me, and I love them.
They're good to the community.
They sure are. I mean, if you need something, if it's a weird site, I mean, they're there.
Right. Yeah.
I have them on speed dial. I do.
So you're talking about a little bit about process. Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Well, while you're painting, what do you listen to? Did you hear me?
Sorry, a phone call came through.
That's fine.
No, not.
That's fine. That's fine. No problem. So while you're painting or while you're working, do you have things or do you listen to stuff? Do you listen to music? Do you listen to what's your background noise?
Well, that's a good question, and it varies. And I use Spotify for my music, and I do have playlists, for my different moods because I love all kinds of music. I can do classical to jazz to rock and roll to not heavy metal. Alternative, I listen to different, so it depends on what kind of mood I'm in as to what kind of music I want to listen to. But with that being said, my studio is up here in this attic, and I have a window unit. And in the summertime, especially, it's kind of noisy up here, so it's hard to hear. I just use one of those little Google speakers, so it's kind of hard to hear. So sometimes I just let the white noise of the AC run, and I don't listen to anything. I just, quiet, I guess.
Just
white noise.
White noise. Right. Yeah.
And occasionally I love audio books, and occasionally if I'm into an audio book, I'll listen to that.
Right.
Right. And surprisingly, some people are like, well, how do you do that and concentrate on your painting? Well, I don't know how I do it, but I do. I enjoy that. I think sometimes it kind of keeps my mind from getting too serious about the art and overthinking the art.
Right. It keeps both left and right occupied.
Exactly.
and moving along. Yeah. Anton Weiss, bless his heart, God rest his soul, loved the man with all my heart. Told me one time, shared with me one time that he listens to the soap operas while he's working, because he goes, it's just because I don't have to pay attention to the story. I know the story. I'm not,
Right.
I just need the chatter in the background happening, and then I just work from that point. He's like, if the news comes on, and suddenly I have to listen to the news because that's a story that I need to pay attention to. Because, but mostly because I just listen to the soap operas and.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. Yeah, that is really interesting. Well, and I understand that because that's the same thing with the audio books. I think it's because I love books anyway, and I'm getting into the character. So it's almost like I'm on autopilot. The right brain goes onto autopilot.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I don't do that all the time. I enjoy music when I'm painting as well. And sometimes the music will set the tone of the painting. I'm sure you can relate to that.
It does. And you don't even aim for it to. It just kind of mentally happens. Next thing you know, your hands go, where did they come from? And he's like, okay, Glenn, what were you listening to? And it's like, there it is.
Right. It's true. For instance, can you hold on just a second? I'll show you something.
Absolutely.
I'll give you an example. Hold on, be right back.
And this is where we normally would play some music or play a board game or
whatever. Okay.
If Robbie is here, we could do some trivia for a few minutes.
Yes, there you go. No, I'm back. But see, look at this piece here.
Good Lord, that's a massive canvas.
Yes, it is. It's a 48 by 48. And if you will notice, it's kind of a calm piece, but it's got a lot of action in it here.
A lot of action in it.
A lot of action right there. I remember I was jamming out to the Rolling Stones on this one. And I was dancing. And when I was finishing it up now, and you'll probably ask me this question, but I'm going to just keep talking.
Yep.
A painting, I get asked a lot, how long does it take you to create a painting? Well, I'm self-diagnosed ADD. So I'm usually working on 4 or 5 paintings at the same time. So it's kind of hard to say how long it takes me.
Right.
But I can tell you for a fact that I am, and there's nothing wrong with this, or it's just, this is me, but I don't finish a painting in a day. There's just no way. You see some of these people on videos and they can do these beautiful pieces and, it took them a day to do it. But mine is a process in that I usually use a lot of layers. So of course I have to let them dry between. I usually do dry on dry. I'm not much of a wet on wet as far as the medium and everything goes. So it takes me a long time actually and some pieces I will, if they really give me a problem and I want to just stick a paintbrush through them, I will put them in the timeout corner. Yep. I actually have one over here and I'll turn it against the wall and I'll forget about it. And it may be several months and I'll go pull it back out, and say, oh, well, I can do this. Kind of like the one I'm going to play on tonight. It's been against the wall for at least probably before COVID hit. It was in the corner. So I said, well, I'll just pull that one out and see what I can do with it tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's true. And right. That's just the way I do it. That's just the way I roll. So it's hard to put a time limit. Like when I have a commission come through, I usually give myself 6 to 8 weeks. Now, and that, that's putting a deadline on me. So sometimes they even, I finished up a piece last month that had been turned against the wall and I had played on it for about a year. And I finally finished it up last week. So it just kind of depends on what's going on with it. And like I said, I've got several going on at the same time. Did I go squirrel on you?
Nope, you did not.
Oh, okay.
You absolutely did not.
Okay, good.
We're in this together. We just right there together.
I do squirrel out.
Well,
that's what I tell my students all the time. Now, y'all just have to just stay with me. I'll come back. And
you do.
I do.
So I'm going to move us along just a little bit because I do want you to paint for a few moments this evening.
Sure.
And give us
Okay.
a little of yourself. But I do also want to recognize, and a lot of people may or may not know this, but I also want to say congratulations to Catron. She was recently named as Creator of the Year by Lifestyle Magazine. Matter of fact, about a month ago, I believe, which is super, super, super cool. I'll just put it that way. And incredibly amazing. This was actually their first year to have that award for them, and they gave it to Catron. So I just want to say congratulations.
I almost get tears in my eyes.
And I could not be more prouder of, and they could not have selected the more right person to have received that award. So congratulations to you.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you. I was just blown away, and I mean, my mascara. I was totally blown away and totally honored by this. I mean, to be the first one. Oh, and guess who's on the front of that magazine? Miss Keith Urban's on the front, and guess who's on the back cover? Is that not cool? I should have brought one up here. I could have showed you, but yeah, it was quite an honor. And like I said, I really love Nashville. When I moved here, I was bound and determined that I just knew this is home. And this is where I needed to be. And I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's just a great honor that they did that. And that did come out in this month's, I'm sorry, not October. We're in October 1st, but it was in September's edition. And you can also go online and see the magazine now.
So it's probably still in the newsstand. So go get you one.
Yeah.
Before
I do autographs.
Because those will be sell-out editions right there.
That's right. That's right. Just bring a Sharpie and I'll give you an autograph too.
I'll bring the wand.
Hey, I'm down.
Got it. We got you going.
I'm down.
So okay, I'm going to move on. I am done with asking questions. Let's
you want me to paint for a little bit?
Let's paint a little bit.
Okay, sure. Give me just a second.
I love that painting, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You see it?
It's really gorgeous. Yep, I see all the texture and.
Yeah, I love the colors, and it was. But I love the energy, even though, there's a lot of energy in it. I mean, if you were to see it in person, it's just. But the colors are soft, so it's kind of got that push and pull going on.
Yep, exactly.
Sometimes you stand, and you know this, Glenn. You'll stand back when you're almost done, or you're done, and you're like. Well, I'll be damned. That looks good.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
I do know that feeling, and I'm going to play with some things right here.
Okay.
On our camera view. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take me. I don't know if I can do that. There's a way to do this. I'm going to. Yep, I've got you.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I'm going to.
Okay. You can see. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to probably shut my camera down, which means you probably won't be able to hear me. And I'm going to just let you talk and paint about your process and what you're doing and what you're. But ask me questions, and I'm right here.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Sometimes when I start painting, this is what I tell my students too. Sometimes when I start painting, it's hard for me to talk and paint at the same time. But I'll try. And it's hard to tell you exactly what I'm thinking and that kind of thing. But let me just tell you a little bit about this piece, guys. I pulled this one out of the timeout corner, just for you guys. It's kind of wild. It's very busy right now. I don't know really where it's going to go, but I laid out some paints already, and so I'll just start painting, and you guys can watch. Now, I don't want to get in the way, so y'all can see what I'm doing. But it's kind of a wild painting. I know I laid this yellow down the other day, and I don't like it, so I'm going to do something about that. Get some of that.
So I'll pop in and ask questions every once in a while. So
yeah, I'll take questions.
Is there a particular palette that you work with the most?
I tend to go towards the lighter, the blues and the blue greens, sea green, the cooler palette. But however, with that being said, I just delivered, I think you probably saw it on Facebook. I delivered a big red piece to an attorney in Mississippi, and it was bold and red. So, warm and lots of energy. But I would say that the cooler colors are my go-to, just because I'm such a calm person. Y'all are laughing, I know.
I gotcha.
I know y'all are laughing. I have no idea where I'm going to go with this. I really don't.
Well, that's okay.
And you know what? That is okay, because sometimes you just have to go for it.
Yep.
I'm liking a little bit more of.
And you're doing acrylic, so this is acrylic on canvas.
Yes, this is acrylics.
Is there any major? Do you do any Do you prep your canvas with like papers or anything before you start, or you just go on?
Good question. I do buy the canvases already stretched, pre-stretched, and also gessoed. However, with that being said, sometimes I need something to kind of get me started, because it's intimidating to sit there in front of a big canvas, a blank canvas, and say, oh, okay, now what do I do?
It truly is.
So sometimes I will either take a graphite pencil and just make some marks. I mean, they're going to get covered up anyway. Sometimes I'll even take a little gesso and mix it in with a color, just a very, very light tint of a color, and just kind of just let myself go, just to give me a start. Did that answer your question?
Yep, sure did.
So, okay.
I learn stuff all the time from different artists constantly. I'm not to bring back up again, but Anton also added spackling to his works. There's just so many different things you can add to these canvases that actually really do work. They don't crack. They don't fall off.
Yes.
I've got brick mortar in a bucket over here.
I know. Well, we're artists, and like we were going back to what I said in the beginning. Experimentation is part of the fun of it.
It's like being mad scientist.
It is, and I call it getting in the sandbox. I love to experiment, and
but that's how we, half the fun, half the process is getting yourself into a corner and then figuring out how to solve the problem.
Exactly. You're exactly right. Oh, look, I just did something fun, and I love that, don't you?
There you go.
It took care of that yellow.
There it went.
And you just keep talking, because that helps me.
Yep. Oh, I can talk. So can you.
Yeah.
So we got, but yes, that's what artists do. We're solving problems, and it's, I see it. I have a yellow area. I really don't like it. I'm going to fix it. How do I fix it? And you're solving more problems. And look at you. It's just.
I know. I just did. Woo-hoo.
You did it again.
It's going to be cute. Yep. Now, probably in the very end, though, I will reduce this down a little bit, because it is kind of busy. I don't like that. Oopsie.
There's another thing that
I gotta get my eraser out. Hold on.
Gotcha. I'm with you. See, that's the lovely part about acrylics, is you can just fix and do. And
oh, I know, man.
Whereas with watercolor, it's like, what do I do? Okay.
That's right.
How do I incorporate that now that it's there?
I hope my landlord isn't listening, but sometimes I'll put it in the bathtub and just shower it off, because it's really bad. When you lay something down and it's a lot of it, and you're going, oh, I don't like that.
Well, that explains the plumbing problems. So, I love all that.
said, look, I'm just tapping it. Isn't that fun? Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes.
Isn't that fun?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let's see.
I could watch someone paint all night long.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It is fun, isn't it? It is. Oh, I like that.
And folks, if you have questions, put them up. Yeah, Will's right. Put them up. We'll be happy to talk about what's going on, or if you have any other questions for Catron. But I'm loving it.
I think this is going to be a cool painting. It's very different.
Now tell our viewers what you just did there.
I didn't know flipperoo. I turn my work as I'm painting until it starts talking to me and it says, okay, this is the way I want it to be. Now, with that being said, it's very rare, but I have finished up a painting before and it looks good in all 4 different directions, that's kind of hard to do because, you know, even though it is an abstract piece, you still got to have the basics. You've got to have that composition. I'm a big composition person, more so actually composition than color is important to me. I have to have that, not balance. That's not a good word. But I've got to have that. I guess balance would be a good word. Balance in the painting. I want your eye to stay in the painting and I want it to be interested in different areas. If that makes sense.
Sure.
But to the degree that it's
But you don't want your eye to get stuck. You want it to be constantly moving through the painting and looking for more of it.
Correct. That is correct. Okay, I'm going to get quiet for just a second and just kind of paint.
You go right ahead. I'm just going to be quiet as well. Just let you work.
Oh yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm.
So, do you usually start a painting with an idea or some kind of notion of where you think this piece is going to go, or do you just let the process happen?
I just let it happen, honestly.
Yeah. Right.
Like I said, I do sketch and sometimes I'll do sketches of compositions that are in my brain. But when I actually do get down to the canvas or stand in front of the canvas, then I'll just let that zone take over.
Sure.
Yeah. See, I'm going to need to reduce some of this down. I'm not really crazy about this pink stuff either. Hold on just a second.
So I'm studying, well, there's a group of us that I paint with myself that we're studying Brian Rutenberg right now. He's a new one to me, but he's a pretty younger New York artist. And oh my gosh, he's so cool. Abstract, of course. He's got, and guys, you can go up on YouTube and I mean, he's got I think right now he's like 74 YouTube videos that you can go through, and it's just him talking about the process of art. What is art? His process. What does he look for? And he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. But one of his favorite quotes was from Picasso saying that people were always asking him, when does he know that a painting is dead, or when is a painting done?
Done, not dead.
Well, and he said that a done painting is a dead painting.
Ah.
right? That, when a painting is done, that to him, like me and you both, it's about the process. It really isn't about the outcome always.
Right.
You'll know it when you see it. It's like, okay, that painting is done.
Right.
But it was the process of getting there. And then it's up to the viewer to take it from there.
That's exactly right.
Um,
I'm gonna turn my air back on while I'm painting.
Sure.
I'm glistening.
As Barbara Streisand would say.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, who was it, Picasso, or which one was it that they used to have to take his paintings from him?
De Kooning.
Because he always, who was it?
It was Willem de Kooning.
That's who it was.
Yeah,
yes.
He
They
never
would take his paintings away from him because he kept painting on them.
He couldn't finish them.
I know.
So his gallerist would just come get him in the middle of the night and take him to the gallery and sell them.
Yes. Which I think is hilarious. And I really can get that. I do get it.
So when you see a de Kooning, it's probably in all, for all rights and purposes, really wasn't done in Willem's eyes.
I loved his work.
So Will has another question for you.
Okay, shoot.
Do you feel connected to a divine spirit or love when you make art? Do you feel connected to a source?
Yeah, I guess I do. God. I am a Christian, and so yeah, I've never really thought about that, to be honest with you. But yes.
Yeah.
I think we all have to, or your creative side does connect to that spiritual side.
Yeah, exactly. And you're such a nature lover as well.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Nature is probably one of my biggest inspirations, because I'm constantly out there. I hike a lot. I went to the Highlands this year and North Carolina and did the waterfalls, and oh my gosh, I just love being outside.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I hit a brick wall or my dragon goes away, I call it my creative dragon. If he decides to run away from home, then I'll take a walk, and nature does inspire me. So in that way, and that's, to me, that is spiritual,
Sure. Absolutely.
Being outside, yeah.
Of course it is.
And just letting your mind absorb that energy.
As we come into the last few minutes of this evening, I have a couple other questions for you, which is, so how has 2020 for all of us has been a train wreck, and it's been a complete train wreck in so many ways. How are you getting through 2020 right now?
Well, Red Door in Bellevue, the liquor store.
Yep.
That's been a really good thing. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not. How am I getting through? To be honest with you, this is my full-time job, and I am a workaholic. So it really hasn't changed for me. I still work every day. I show up in the studio every day. I work every day. If anything, it's kind of been good because you're not getting, we're starting to get back out now, but there for a while, I didn't leave the Ponderosa,
Right.
So it was an opportunity for me to experiment with different things. I took advantage of it. Of course, I used to teach classes at Mud Puddle Pottery here in Pegram, and they had to, during lockdown, of course, the classes were shut down. And so it gave me, teaching takes a lot because of the preparation for the class and all that. So I didn't have that in the way, or not in the way, but I did not have that to do. So it allowed me to focus on different techniques and using different mediums and that kind of thing. So I've actually kind of benefited from it in a way because I've played with different things and just practice.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So what's next on your list for this last quarter of 2020? What's your goals right now?
Well, you know me, honey, I've got some goals. I may
I
not
do.
tell you all of them, but I'm working on some special projects. I'm working on some collaboration projects. But, nothing is, they've shut the art crawl down downtown, and we do not expect that to come back this year. We're hoping for the spring of next year. Fingers crossed. I'm ready. I know. I'm so ready. And everybody is. I mean, I miss that. Talk about, just being down there with all that talent and all those people, those art lovers. And it's good for us, as an artist to be around that. Yeah. So I'm hoping that'll open back up. But as far as shows and things like that, it's going to be next year before anything comes down the pipe. But there are some in the pipe. So we'll see. I have hopes and dreams, that's for sure.
That's awesome. That's great.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, folks.
Stay tuned. Yeah, everybody join my art page and
that may just make us have another show in a couple of months and say, okay, where are we at now with everything? But so, Catron, coming to a close this evening, do you have anything else you'd like to share with our audience this evening?
Just thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate it. It's been quite an honor, and I know I can't tell who's on here. Lynn, I think you can tell, but I'm sure a lot of my Nashville peeps and maybe a few of my Mississippi peeps are there, and you guys just hang tough. We'll get through this. It's been a real bitch for everybody. This has just been crazy. Talk about surreal. Wouldn't Dolly have a ball with this? There's no telling what he'd come up with. But this too shall pass, and we'll just have to keep on riding the horse.
That's right. That's completely true.
But I want to thank everybody, and I want to thank everybody, especially for your support and I've had so much outpouring. I'm not kidding. I got texts, I got inboxes when I was awarded the Creator of the Year award. I got so many people contacting me and telling me congratulations and thank you, and that just means the world. In fact, one day I just had a little crying fit because it just touches me. Well, it touches me that people are so supportive, and because being a full-time artist is not easy, and I just appreciate it so much. I appreciate everybody.
Yeah, I know when they did the article on you, and we got to all be together to celebrate that at 208. It's like, that was fun, and I want to do that kind of stuff again.
I know. I miss that so much.
I miss
that. Oh, by the way, I would like to do a plug for my agent and my gallery in Nashville. The Gallery 208 is now open for appointments, and she is happy to take those appointments and show you around. She has many, I won't say many, but she has several other artists in there. Their work is just exquisite. Yeah. So she really does have a really nice stable of artists, and so if you get a chance, make an appointment with her, and she'll show you around, and you can go look. She's got plenty of room there for social distancing. Her name is Ashley Seagroves, and she has been so good to me. it's funny. We met about 2.5 years ago, I guess, when I entered for the Nashville Abstract Women of Nashville Art Wall down on 2nd Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of 8 that was chosen for that as well. And that's how Ashley and I got together. And we've been working together as a team since. And she's just wonderful, lovely, lovely person.
She is. She is. And it's a beautiful space, too.
Yes. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
yes.
It is. Well, folks, what a great evening this has been. I have enjoyed it from beginning to end, which I had no doubt that I would not anyway. So this has always been, anytime that I have the opportunity to spend quality time with Catron, I'm here. And I will always be here. So we want to thank all of you for joining us this evening and being a part of the show. As you may or may not know, this is called Live from the View, and Live from the View is a show that's being produced by Community Arts of Bellevue, which is a 501c3 organization. If you'd like to support us, you may do so by going on to CAofB, which is Community Arts of Bellevue, CAofB.org. And we do have memberships. They're very affordable, and every dollar goes a long, long, long way. Especially right now, we're being very, we're really watching our money. But we're also making sure that everything we do, all dollars are invested back into the community to support the arts and the artists that live here. That's bringing art to our community and also just highlighting the arts and artists that already are part of our community. So that's my little spiel about CAofB.org. Or you can also contact me, which is Glenn, and I can put in chat, and you may be able to see it. Glenn at CAofB.org is my email address, and always feel free to contact me. I'm always open to hearing suggestions, thoughts, ideas, concerns, praises, whatever it might be. I can handle it. So I will say it's an organization.
We appreciate you too, Glenn. You do such a good job.
This is my passion as well.
Yes, it is.
And we're a growing organization in Bellevue, but I think we're taking off in leaps and bounds. We are doing Live from the View every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. So you can always check in on Thursdays at 7. We do some extra shows as well. Like last weekend, we did on Saturday a show with More and More Garden Center, which was phenomenal and so much fun to do. But we will always do a program on Thursday nights, 7 p.m. So always tune in. We do have some, just so you know, we have some coming up that we're doing with Tennessee Rep, with the new African American Museum. And so we have a lot of really great programming coming up in October already. So please join us again for that. You can also go up on our website and we will have those new events. I mean, a lot of these just happened yesterday and today that we actually booked them. So, but we will put all the information on our website, which is at CAofB.org. You can find it on our Facebook page, or there's other places like the Chamber, the Bellevue's Chamber. We keep their calendar up to date as well. So that's it from here this evening. Catron, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I was very honored that you asked. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I'm just enjoying spending so much time with you. And that painting is going to be phenomenal when it's done. I promise.
I'll keep working on it.
I know. I see it.
It's going to happen. Yeah, I get excited.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Tomorrow's Friday, and Arrivederci. Have a great night. Thank you.
See ya.